Good to go.
All right, welcome to the Town of Fairfield Shellfish Commission meeting, December 14th, 2022. Call to order. Present is Tim Macklin, Lizette Enhofer, Sean Cohen, Bruce Kiefner, Todd Kenke, and John Short. A little bit of the public here tonight. On the phone is Tim Bishop and who else is on the line? Sarah? No.
Is Sarah on there, or? No?
Okay. All right.
We're really recording the minutes.
So I guess we're going right to bills and communications because we changed the order of the...
To approve? Okay.
So we got clam relay and planting. We're hoping to do a relay before November 15th, which is the cutoff, and we had just reopened after being closed for like a month and a half or 2 months. So we decided we didn't want to shut down for another 2 weeks, to put the clams in. So we had already done a stocking during the shutdown, so there were clams there. So we probably won't be doing anything till May. Depends on the weather, water temps, and all that. If the water temps are good, we'll do a relay before our clinic. If not, we'll just buy market and put it out there for the clinic, and then do a relay right after that. Anything else on clam relay or planting?
Nope.
Next time you guys go to Southport Beach, you should bring some rakes and see if our steamers survive that we planted over there.
Where'd you put them again?
In front of the yellow house.
Okay. How far out?
Some right on the water line, some a little further out.
Water line at what tide?
Low tide.
Okay.
So right in front of the...
Yep.
So you know how the beach goes down and then it goes flat? Right where it goes flat. So not up on the high tide mark,
Yep.
And then a bunch around there. We did like 4 or 5 quadrants or something. So I don't know if they're there or not, but we probably should check. It's been a little while.
We're waiting to hear back from Alyssa. If she can take samples tomorrow, we're going to do tomorrow at 8 o'clock,
Okay.
and then we can give them a look.
All right. It should be,
okay.
you'll know,
How many did you put out?
25,000. So, I mean,
I'll send pictures out.
a few thousand might have survived.
We'll have Bruce eat one. We'll see how it turns out.
Oh, yes. They should be fine over there on that beach.
That's good.
Bruce, you know what? Wait for it to rain about 1.5 inches first, though, before you
And go try them.
Starting tomorrow afternoon.
let them flush out a little,
Drano.
All right. We go to water and habitat quality. Bruce or Lizette?
Oh. I'm on that page.
Go ahead.
Hold on, I was on the permits page. So we had 3.82 inches of rain. We had a total of 134 days closed this calendar year. We were open for 15 days and closed for 15 days in November. That's it.
That's it.
That's your vote.
Anything else on water and habitat? No? Permits and access.
We've issued 411 permits year to date.
No,
Oh, no.
413.
Oh,
413. We sold one since
Which
October.
is a new record for the last, 10 years?
The record.
Yeah.
All time.
Nice, yeah, we
Last
beat.
3 years, we're on a streak.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, we even sold one in November because
So,
October
Well,
here's the
one
thing.
month.
So
412.
since we're on permits and that, and we sold 413, I think that currently we buy the book of 450 actual physical permits. So
Yeah.
what is your guys' feeling of, if I say this, we won't sell as many permits next year, but of putting a cap on the amount of permits we sell with having that one small area?
I guess the real question is, during peak usage, is it bad? Because during non-peak usage, I've never seen more than a person or so out there.
The only people that I've heard complain actually work for the town, and don't clam.
Then I absolutely would say, let's not put a cap on it. Why would we? Then we're
records.
we're restricting the people who don't know about it to renew from getting into the game.
Where are we for like the online stuff? Do we still have to go through the book? Or are they going to try to? I know you were thinking about.
Well, they mail out the permit.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing a card with a sticker.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Can I ask a question? Everybody has their phone on them wherever they go. What about we issue just something that's got a unique number on it? You got license 153, you got license 156.
Mhm.
Take a picture of it with your phone. Be ready to produce it out of your photograph thing. No printing, no.
Well, everyone
sending.
should have the receipt if they buy it online in
Or
the
they have
phone,
the receipt.
right?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's on some level here.
So when someone
But
buys
how do you ensure it's not transferable? In other words, I just take,
It's got to have their name on it, and then they have to
Yeah.
ask for their license, I guess, right?
But if we send them the confirmation via email, I mean, that's all we really, right? I mean,
So, I know that a lot of people like to see that thing hanging around people's necks. That's the call.
It's a red-
There's
yeah,
people
I
out
mean-
there without a permit on their neck. I'm like, they probably have a permit. You know, and if you buy a permit on a Saturday or Sunday, you can still go clamming. You just have the receipt on your phone or the physical receipt. You print it out. So,
do we think it's a problem with unlicensed clammers?
no, I don't. A couple.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
over
there's
the
a
years,
handful.
a handful, but it's not like a.
I guess I'm just saying,
epidemic.
the ease for 400 and counting, maybe 500 next year, maybe 600,
Yeah.
wouldn't we rather err on that side than the 6 kids who go out without a permit?
right.
And, like, make it easy for people to just have it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, here you
So,
go.
you know how you get the card from Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
yeah.
You just have that, I guess, and just renew through Parks and Rec or something. I was just thinking maybe a sticker on it or something, because then they could hang it on themselves or have it.
Never had a
So some
card
people
from
don't bring
Parks
their
and
phone out
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
I mean,
Sticker.
if what we have now is not too costly or cumbersome, you know, it's not a big deal to,
Right.
I think that having the,
So here's the thing, the big deal of it is, we feel it's not a big deal, but when Joanne gets 30 online orders and
Yeah.
has her full day's work, and then has to fill out 30 of these little permits, envelope them up and mail them out, it does become an issue of, you know, because she has to sit there and do it. And she asked me, like, can someone come in and help?
I would suggest, why don't we make the
If I
default,
may.
and if you would like a physical permit, we give directions where to go. She can fill out 50 of these things a year instead of 450 of them.
Yeah.
I think almost everybody's going to want it on their phone.
Tim Bishop, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I would just confirm with what you're talking about, John. It's a huge burden on her in the office and just in general with just so many man hours and you know, just handling itself with writing it out in the card, mailing the lanyard. It's way too time consuming. So I think a lot of these are good ideas, and I would support anything that is more efficient and less time consuming. You know, we buy we register our cars and renew licenses online with the DMV. You know, we could just print the registration out, you know, something similar to that, or the sticker idea. But I think it's so time consuming, and she gets slammed. You know, I will have a part-time staff starting tomorrow, which will help, but it's so cumbersome, you know, just to throw my 2 cents in for what I see every day in the office.
Replicate the beach sticker? Like, I mean, you go to Parks and Rec, they have a little printer there, you enter the thing, they print out the sticker, and then they can just slap it on their own permit. And every year it's a different color sticker.
yeah, I mean, if you issue a handwritten permit once to somebody, and in subsequent years he or she renews, you simply, all you do, if it's a renewal, you just give them the orange sticker. And the next year it's the purple sticker, and the next year, and so the only time that Tim's staff would be busy would be for the first-time people, but, you know, an awful lot of, I don't know how many repeat customers out of the 413, but I imagine there's a vast majority of repeat.
Yeah, if we could figure out how they do the beach stickers.
yeah, I mean, I
And
have like
then-
a collection of old ones, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so,
it makes sense, but I like the idea of putting
Or, like,
slapping a
filling
sticker
out
on it
those
that has the
little
year.
things, you know.
A sticker that just has to have the year on it. 2023, like, it's,
And so it
Keep it
seems
clearer
like,
than
oh,
that.
it's just a few words, but it's like 3 layers of paper she's writing through and all that. It's just a pain in the neck. You know, I buy a hunting license every year, and they don't give me a lanyard or a little plastic thing to put it in. I got to buy that myself. So
Yeah,
we
we
probably
laminate it. She's got a lot of stuff.
should get rid of the lanyard and plastic.
If the commission wants to entertain the beach sticker style, I could talk to Anthony. It probably wouldn't even be a bad idea having, if somebody had a beach sticker. Right now, I think we're in red. We went to purple for 23. If we doubled up on them and people had 2 stickers of the same color, I could figure out how much they cost from Parks and Rec if, we keep it the same. I don't know. Put an S on it for Shellfish.
All right. So we've already.
Then you're going by car though. Then you're going by carload.
Well, they could put the sticker on anything.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just put it on your.
Almost stack the stickers on top of each other.
Yep.
You just need the current in your sticker. You don't need to see it 5 years back.
We got to figure it out quick because we already bought the book of permits and people are probably already buying permits. So, they will be at least on January 1st. So we'll work on it the first 3 months of the year, try to figure it out before the big rush of permits comes in. We could actually at the clinic have like little plastic cards or something with the lanyard, and then the sticker will go right on it, and that would be it. All right, let's get off the subject. Anything else on permits and access? All right. Southport Beach reopening. We had a crew out there today. What's going on? What's the group?
Yeah, we went down there, and unfortunately, low tide was at 9:24, and we were there at 8 o'clock, and there just wasn't sufficient water to sample. So we're going back there tomorrow. Obviously, tide will be around 10:24, and we'll be there again at 8 o'clock, and we will do samples. Cindy was going to check with Alyssa to make sure that if we brought the samples in, she'd be able to test them. I don't know. We didn't hear back from them.
The broader challenge we're having is what we want. We know that over 1 inch, our samples are garbage. We'll always be shut down there with an inch of rain. So the question becomes between 0.5 and 1 inch worth of, a rain event, will we hit levels that are okay then? Now, Kim, you've mentioned we've got a couple of different ways we're tracking rain here in Fairfield. Alyssa's readings, when she sends us, are not the same readings as we're getting here in town. And so we're trying to understand from her, whose reading is it between 0.5 and 1.0 that counts towards us getting that approval at some point if we can, if we're good at up to 0.6, whatever it is, who's going to make that call? So we are trying to figure that out. What we tried to do is also find out, is there a cumulative rain event, because there's been so much rain recently that we said, well, it hasn't rained in 3 days, but we're not back open again. So if we were to go take a sample now, what is that? Is it the last rain event? Is it cumulative? We've had 4 days worth of, 0.75 per day. So we are trying to, it's easier to wait for a 1 inch. It's trickier to try and back us into this one little zone.
So Alyssa mentioned this in the past, was to put a water level gauge in the Mill River. And then we would be able to go by that water level gauge, because that would be more accurate, because, I don't know, spread out,
You're
whatever.
saying to make sure we're on the same depth of water? Or are you talking about for rain?
So whatever the Mill River rises, I guess when it rains, it must rise a little bit, right?
Yep.
So she talked about putting a level gauge in there and trying to match the samples up with so the amount of rain and then where the river is.
But during high tide, it's going to go up.
Yeah, but not up past, like.
Oh, you're saying way up.
In the actual river, not in the harbor there. So above tide mill, it really doesn't rise or fall that much with the tide. But you'd have to talk to her about that. I don't know.
Well, USGS is put in with the whole aquarium deal.
But that's another thing, that we're not involved in that in any way.
No, but they put in equipment on the Mill River.
Right, but doesn't have anything to do with us. So it would be something that had to do with us. So it would be installed by, say, the Bureau of Agriculture or something. To get involved with U.S. government in that is not where we want to go. It's just, I don't have the time or energy to talk to anybody for that long a period of time. So all that monitoring that's going on by everybody else, no. It has to be done through the people we work with. such as the Shellfish Commission, maybe the town, and the Bureau of Aquaculture. To get into these other monitors, everyone and their brother has a grant for a monitor now. You know, they're monitoring every river and this and that. And where it goes, I don't know. So you want to talk to Alyssa about that? And then what is the legit rain level gauge? Tim, what's the story with the rain level gauge? Is it working or not?
Working fabulously. I don't know where she's getting her data. I'd love to know. Because if I could delete that weather underground, I would. It's not accurate.
But I don't understand, because that's what we're on is weather underground, isn't it?
No, we're on Davis. We're using the data directly from the manufacturer of the hardware on the roof.
So that's different than what reads online?
Yeah, that's where the problem was. IT figured that out, that somewhere in the coding. Sorry?
I thought there was a wire tie holding the flapper.
No, yeah, that fixed the hardware. The problem is somewhere in the translation from Davis, the actual device, and Weather Underground is manipulating it somehow.
Oh.
So that's wrong. That should be deleted. But that was Brian Kerry's thing, and we can't delete it somehow.
Got it.
So if we could break that connection between Weather Underground and the hardware, then the public couldn't have bad data. But the Davis data is accurate.
All right.
And again, we're looking to close the gap because last week when Tim and I were texting, the Davis device had us at 0.75. Alyssa had us at 1.5.
And she was going off of Weather Underground or a different, you don't know what she was going off of?
This is the issue.
We have to talk.
So then I
about
guess, yeah,
Okay.
We have to be on the same,
find out where she's getting her
as
data.
John points out, we have to be connected to Alyssa. Whatever Alyssa's doing, we have to follow
It
suit.
might be just going up there.
So is there's still a gauge on top of at the sewage treatment plant, Tim?
Yeah, I don't have access to that.
No?
I only have what's on my roof.
Yeah, I wonder if that's where she's getting the data. Well, because the way the rains have come a lot, we don't get hit with it the hardest here. And
yeah, they do vary. A lot of variability.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys are still working on it, so you probably want to have like a call with Alyssa again.
Yeah, we got to talk to her. Email her and do it.
But this is like an important time to get as many samples as possible because this is probably when that beach would be open, is from like November till March or something like that, if we can get it open.
Yep.
So, all right. Why don't you guys come up here? Commercial shellfish regulations. Well, they're going to be talking, so.
We'll turn around.
Oh, here we are.
Yeah, here's a cumulative question. I don't know what it's here, but for our inch and a half, it's an 8-hour break in the time. Let us say you have 1.25 inches, and it's over 24 hours. But somewhere along that line, if it was less than 8 hours and we've got another 0.3, that counts for the total. And that can go over, of course, in 3 days, where you just get little, and there's no, it could be 7 hours and 55 minutes each time it adds to that.
So are you saying within 8 hours, you just keep adding, you don't take anything back, but if it's more than 8 hours,
Then it
increase off?
resets.
It resets completely?
Yeah, reset after 8 hours. As long as it's after the 24 hours.
Right. It's a 24-hour period,
24-hour
but
period.
if there's a break in it of 8 hours, it'll reset.
Yeah.
But not for us reopening it at SASCO.
No, for the closure.
For the closure.
The
This
regular.
is for the regular beds, not for Sasco.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're at 1 inch. We close all the time.
Yeah.
Close for
All right, we're going to go to commercial shellfish regulations. So we'll start off with me and Tim discussed a little bit about the commercial shellfishing. So you guys are here to see if we will be issuing a permit or anything like that?
Just checking in to see, basically, without
So,
trying to pressure anything, we're just seeing how it's going, that's all. We're not in a hurry to do anything.
right. So, outside of, say, the creeks and all that, right, out in open water, is there any interest in doing work out there?
We'd have to look and see.
Yeah.
It's been so long since we've done anything around here.
You know,
Yeah.
Ash Creek is gonna be a no-go.
Have to
I
take a
can
look
say
and
that
see.
right off the bat. Ash Creek is not gonna be open for commercial shellfishing.
What, on that note, just, what about if you had a specific spot in Ash Creek where you only allowed tonging?
So, right now,
I mean, with no dredging, no sweep, just say an area that's extremely small, just for, say, tonging, certain amount. Yeah.
so here's the thing, is we're doing restoration work in there. We have a few different agencies that wanna help with restoration in there. And some of them are very big national players. So we really wanna keep that right now to be restored. Whether or not oysters are gonna be restored and then taken out and then more restored, you know, that's a different story. But right now, Ash Creek is gonna be a no-go. That's how I feel. Our other creeks are Pine Creek, which is, there's no oysters there. I mean, there's some in there, but it's just not anything harvestable. And then we have Sasko Creek, which is the same situation. There's nothing really there. So then you got Southport Harbor. So Southport Harbor would be the only place in where tonging would work, possibly small dredges, stuff like that, bull rakes, whatever.
You can't do the full rate.
You can't use them. All right.
No, they're outlawed in Connecticut.
Well, we better get rid of that one.
Hell,
when
boom,
we decided to.
he's behind that fact.
Okay. Well, I'm not in the commercial, so now I learned something.
Big statute.
That's why there's so many for sale online, I guess, right? Okay. Well, whatever. It's,
You can use the small rakes.
Small rake,
It looks like
you know.
no rakes. But you
So,
can't use the-
that would be an option over there. It would have to be done, there'd have to be a plan set up where as oysters were harvested, then shell got put back down. So we could regrow, because it's a great recruitment
Yeah,
area.
that's fine.
So,
Where's that?
Mill River. You know, the Southport Harbor, where all the, and it would have to be like after, so how Mill River works is it's restricted relay up by Tide Mill. And then when you start getting into the moorings and that, it's, what do they call it?
Prohibited?
No.
It goes to, it
Conditionally restricted relay?
conditionally restricted relay or
Yeah,
something like that.
That's because of the mooring field.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
the
so,
moorings, some of them are helix, the moorings stay down there all winter.
Yeah, but the reason that it's the closures for that is because...
yeah,
these
so November
typical
15th,
boats.
it basically closes, and then they'll notify us in the spring, it's open. I don't know what day it is.
Oh, would it be open in the winter for conditions?
Yes,
like-
sorry, I mean, it opens in November 15th. So it goes back to restricted relay. So that's the only time anyone could really do any work in there, would be from November 15th until,
That's fine.
you know, but, I mean, there's not months of work in there, there's days of work in there. It's not like, but it would have to
That's the way
be,
a lot of
Days
places-
work or days?
A lot of places are like that.
so that's the only place that's really would be something that we could possibly do.
And what did you want to do for shell to be put back there?
Well, we have some shell, but we don't have a lot.
I mean, we could donate shell. I mean,
We have a lot of stuff.
You have a lot of shell?
Yeah.
Like,
Not dry shell.
We're in the, not dry shell, no. We're in the process of...
but it's Long Island Sound shell, so
Yeah,
it
we-
doesn't matter.
We're in the process. We just take it and dump it on the natural beds anyway, just to get rid of it, because we don't want it on our beds, just in the way.
Yeah, well, that would be shell that, so, I've always thought that it might be, I have this idea of doing this third thing, where you harvest a third, and, you know, you don't harvest it to zero, but, you know, you harvest a third, and then reshell that area. Then the next year, you harvest the second third, and then the next year, you harvest the second third. And by that time, these oysters are big enough for harvest again. And then the next year you do this one, the next year you do this one. And you just keep flipping it, you know?
And we're gonna try, we haven't built it yet, prototype will be coming sometime. There's a shell crusher right on the deck, because it's for the double deckers.
Yeah.
Because double deckers would make good shells, they were dead and broken up, basically.
Yeah, they don't catch anything otherwise.
Well,
Go try double decker.
They'll catch a step, but you don't wanna plant them on your bed. That's for sure. But
No.
if they were dead and broken up in small pieces, they would be quite valuable. And
Yeah, especially in areas like up in the creek and that, where it's mud, you know. But there's oysters on the edge. So we have to actually have a special meeting, set regulations, because we don't have any right now. And we'd have to discuss it and make up a plan. I think it can be done. You know, we do have to do something with commercial shellfish. We can't just say no, you know. It's part of our MOU. We don't have anyone working here. But right at the very moment, nothing.
yeah, we're not in a hurry. We're just seeing how it's going.
Yeah. Well, and we can move only so fast because, you know, we're getting paid a lot here. So nothing. So we're volunteers and we all like crazy busy all the time. So, but Sean, you're on this with us, right?
Yep.
So me, Tim, and Sean will have to meet up and just go over something. And like I said, we'll run that plan by Dave Carey, see what he has to say. You know, it is Southport Harbor. Everyone that lives there and around there is wealthy. You know, they don't like to see commercial guys, so it'd be a small scale.
We go to the side in Westport.
We're on more cell phone cameras in Westport than anybody
Yeah,
else.
there's commercial guys working in Westport, though.
We are.
You know, yeah, but there's nothing going on in Fairfield. No one's ever seen a boat with a rig.
Well, those people have to know.
So you go in in a smaller boat anyway.
You can
like,
almost feed the
right?
dogs off the bow of our boat.
Yeah. So what's your boat? You've got a skiff type boat to go up in these harbors?
We got a 30-foot boat that we use. We just got another one though.
What does it look like?
It's gray.
Yeah.
It's got a wheelhouse in the back. Got 2 dredges on the front, and 2 hydraulic dredges. And it's also, we also have a really good pair of tongs we use. We use those in the West.
So you have to do. No way you're putting any kind of dredge in that harbor over there.
Oh, a hand dredge. Oh, no,
maybe a hand
we got
dredge.
a really nice pair of tongs.
Yeah.
It'd
It'd either be tongs
You
or a hand dredge.
You've seen the harbor in the summer. There
Well,
are
we
a
wouldn't
lot
be
of
there. We wouldn't be there.
bow and stern moorings, so
We can get in those.
well,
I actually put spuds on my boat for the tongs. So it stays right there. There's one in the bow. They're about 15. How long they were. And we pull the pin and drop one in the stern and drop in the bow, and the boat stays right there. And we tong, we pick up one spud and slide the boat over and drop it. It works very well. We also got a second boat that's not very well. We just bought. I don't know if you're familiar with it. That's one of Bloom's boats, the Dauntless, about 60 feet. We bought that one.
Yeah, that's not.
But that's not that. No, but that's not for that.
Yeah.
That's our shell crusher. We'll go on that.
All right. So that's what we're doing. So, you know, there's no guarantee anything's going to happen. If you want to play around in open water, you know, I could ask Dave Carey if you guys could come in and do some surveying or something like that. You ain't going to find much for oysters out there. You may hit some clams or something. I don't know if you guys do clams or not.
Well, this boat was clams.
Yeah. So,
I used to have a clam rig on my other boat, but it's just too crowded and too heavy. It's off. But the new boat was for clam stuff. I got a clam stuff on it.
yeah, and that's closer to where you guys work anyway. So, but the Ash Creek is going to be out for now.
Well, the big boat's up in Stratford right now.
Oh, you're in Stratford? Where?
The big boat's in
The big boat's in
Stratford.
Stratford.
The small
Oh,
boat's
it's
in
doing
Norwalk.
seed right now?
We do everything.
Where are you parked in Stratford?
It's the dock, just on the Drury Bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my boat over there at Brown's. So.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll discuss it further, but there's not going to be any work done in Ash Creek. And you know what? There's this Ash Creek Conservation Association. They're really like, they're really like, watch that place. I don't know how to describe them.
The best way forward is to be worked, though.
I know. Yeah, we know that. So, well, you know, it's been there for a long time. It's had oysters in it probably the whole time. So they come, they go, they live, they die, all that stuff. You know, it's best if you want them always alive. Yeah, to keep working it and all that. You don't have the old diseased oysters. You know.
Well, they get better shape too, and they keep standing on top of the old shell. They tend to get long and skinny.
Yep. We know.
And the old shell kind of just buries into the mud, and the new one goes on it, and it gets past sunk in the mud, and it starts off skinny. You never get nice shape oysters.
Yeah, they grow that way in the mud. Yeah. So, so that's where. Yeah, get both their names and
Michael
Oravez, O-R-A-V-E-Z.
O-R-A
V-E-Z.
V-E-Z, okay. What's the name of your company?
That's the name of it.
Okay, got it.
yeah, I've taken his name off.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
We're the only employees, and
Okay.
myself, and well, he's got his own company too, but we just look together.
Okay. So the river, Houstonics going to shut down for a couple of months, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to shut it down. They had the meeting last night. They're going to shut it down next month, January 15th, which is way too late. They should shut it down now. All they're going to do is maul that small stuff between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous, this brutality. But sometimes most of the guys would prefer it would just shut down now. But then there's a couple guys that, we want to work, you can't make anything that.
Yeah.
And they'll kill more than the cats.
Yeah, they'll start working up on the edges and all that.
And then they're going to have a meeting in March as to when they're going to open.
So it's going to be over 3 months.
It really is. It should be shut down December 1st and not open again until May 1st if they want to manage it properly, but they won't.
So here's our other issue, since you guys are able to mention, is that if we issue you a permit, we're not going to issue any other, like, we can't just issue because if someone says, oh, they're working in Fairfield, other guys are going to come and want a permit. So we have to discuss that too, is how do we limit the, access to, we don't have much for natural beds in Fairfield. We have some open water, but we don't have islands, we don't have shallows, we have sand, Then the oysters hardly even grow in Penfield Reef over there. So, it's limited, so we have to limit it ourselves. But the Ash Creek thing will be on hold for a while. Just because...
well, just your shell replenishment is a deterrent for some folks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot of people that can bring back shell.
I mean, if you guys are just throwing shell out in the natural beds, I mean...
We get rid of it all the time, just in our way.
Really? There's people that want that shell.
Ooh, we don't.
Well, they always mention, like, in that meeting with the Shellfish Commission, it's like, oh, we wanted shell, but we couldn't get it.
Yeah. Well, now that we're with the next gathering, we can let them know that.
Yeah.
They might buy it.
Yeah.
So when you say you're throwing out shell, like, are you filling this whole room with shell that you get rid of in a year, or?
Oh, easily.
Easy.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a decent amount.
Yeah. Move thousands of bushels. Thousands of bushels.
Right.
Away,
Yeah.
just in the way. We don't have set. It's set sometimes, but the ground's not really good enough where it's set, so we should shell it and then catch a set, because the shell will just be in the way.
Yeah, you're not going to catch enough. Like, so over in Ash Creek, I mean, we put down shell, and the shells are covered in oysters, There's just tons of set in there.
Yeah.
So,
if we had ground like that, we'd sell it, but we don't. So.
All right, so that's where we're at with commercial shellfish regs.
Right.
So if you guys want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you're welcome.
But we can reach back. Do you have his contact information?
All I had was his email. Why don't you get the contact info?
203.
Yep.
820
Yes, stand up and do
5035.
it. Yes, stand up.
Sorry,
5035.
What do you got? Oh, we just got it.
Thank you.
And then do it. No, stand up. Maybe.
We can reach out to you once we meet about the regulations and then maybe coordinate.
Oh, and then touch the lever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doing a survey?
Okay. That's fine. Okay.
I don't know, I have a different chair in my office.
I'm tired.
All right, we're gonna go to oyster bed
Thanks for
development.
coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.
Good seeing you. Have a good Christmas.
Great. Yeah, we'll go right away.
Just getting older.
The last couple artists are doing. Three of them. I need to run.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right.
Thank you.
Oyster bed development. Got anything, Tim? Tim's still collecting shell?
Still collecting shell. We broke the 80,000 pound mark since we've been collecting since 2015. We've had our second most productive year. 2016, we collected over 15,000. Right now, we're at about 12,600 pounds for 2022. So decent year. Over 800 or 80,000. So pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not doing anything else, right?
Nope. Oh, just I talked to Tom. He's gonna combine all the piles into one large pile. We're gonna put everything in that new bag. So the stuff on the bottom is from the Milford Oyster Festival. Then we'll get the work pile that we're adding to right now on top of that.
We'll
and
have
then
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, old pile will be on top of that. So anything
Right.
that we grab will be, and it'll be over 6 months. So.
All right, and then the only thing is, I think we gotta have to secure the lids on the downwellers.
Oh yeah, I gotta order.
Because if one of them flies away, they're gonna be on us.
We just need to order those tie down. You want to do tie down straps, or you want to just get more of the rubber straps?
So we could use a tie down right across. So where the rubber strap is, I think we could hook it in there, and then just go across and ratchet it up.
Why couldn't you just do the sheetrock, or what is sheetrock screw in there?
No. We're a $6,000 downwell.
Oh, no, I didn't know whether or not just putting it.
The lid is that big.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
no, we're
just
not
one-
ratchet screwing it.
One
ratchet straps.
One
or,
ratchet strap per.
Yeah, one ratchet strap per. Right.
12 footer.
We just have to check to make sure the hook can go underneath where the strap goes. I think it can, right?
It
Just like a little loop.
Yeah. You thread it down there and then hook around.
Yeah,
the
let's
outside.
ratchet strap them down, and
Instead of
then
getting more rubber ties. Okay.
we can probably buy like a 6-pack of these things, right?
Yeah.
All right, Tim, can we just we don't have to approve that, buying some ratchet straps, right? No. All right.
No, that's fine.
I would like to get like.
The only thing I would ask is if you're going to ask staff to do anything, just please let me know.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
No problem,
yeah. So if it's all right, yeah, we want to just
Give
combine
Tom
the piles.
stuff to do, and he's
Before the end
telling
of
me
the
you're
year.
telling him stuff to do.
Sorry. I just checked in with him to see if it was all right, and then I was going to bring it up tonight anyway, so to make sure.
Yeah, no problem. Just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
All right, so we'll just add this into oyster bed development since we use the boat sometimes for that. Is that Tom pulled the boat out and there was some rotted wood on the transom, like right on the top. He was able to cut that out and make some new pieces and screw it and fiberglass it in. He sanded the whole boat, so it's ready to be painted. I told him to go down to the aquaculture school and talk to Troop about the boat and the safety, and Troop referred him to their boat building class, and I forget the guy's name
Ken
there.
Cooper.
Cooper?
Toper. T-O-P.
Toper.
Tober,
Toper went over the whole thing with Tom and how to keep the boat afloat and everything and what to do with the painting and all that. So Tom has all the info. He's really happy. Smartest guy I ever met with boats. So I stopped in there too. I was doing some work and I looked at some of the work they're doing. So it's pretty easy. And aquaculture school said if we want, they'd give us the materials to fill in the gaps and stuff like that. We need like 4 ounces of resin, and it only comes in a 1-gallon bucket or something like that. So, so it looks like we got the boat going along. At some point, we have to paint it. So how it works, it's going to need 3 coats of paint. And as you paint, if one person, go with a roller and roll while the other person is behind them with a brush to get the bubbles out.
A rolling tip.
I think we can handle it. If not, I'm sure Campbell can do the job. You look so happy. All right, so the boat is in good shape for another year. And then we'll start discussing another boat possibility next year. Start looking into something. Anything else on that? Oyster bed. Okay. Communication.
I mean, the social media post, it's just basic, announcements these days. I would like to, I got an email from a young guy named Chaitanya Hinyala, and he's trying to get his Eagle badge, and he is, he participated in the oyster restoration down at the beach previously. He was an eco volunteer at the Maritime Aquarium in Norwalk. He's interested in a conservation project that he can use as his Eagle Scout project. I would like for us to find something for him to do. I'd like part of our challenge to him to be documenting what it is that he has done so we can use it as communication out to the community as to here's how Eagle Scouts are getting involved in aquaculture and all that kind of stuff.
So is this the email that I always get to and it says, Dear Mr.
We all
Goldberg?
got it.
Okay.
Except for me, because you misspelled my name.
Yes, I
I
know.
don't think I got
one
that
who didn't
either.
get it.
I don't think I got that either.
I got it.
I got it, and I said,
I got
I reached back out to him, but he spelled my name with an E-N.
Sean, it's going.
In this vein, I spoke to Dave Henry at Agriculture today about a video.
Was there an open house there today?
No,
No. Okay.
no, but
No.
when I did go to the open house
Yeah.
several months ago, when you had,
I saw Dave Henry today. Go on.
and anyway, I asked him about the video because he had shown a video of the open house that the kids had made, the students had made. And he said actually that was made some years ago, and they don't have an active video program. I do know that the high schools do have video programs because harbor management is working with them to produce a video. So my suggestion, once I find those people at your high school, I'll talk to them to see whether or not we could do something that would sort of take the life of an oyster. Unfortunately, we've missed the spat collection and stuff like that, but we have, still photographs that are on the website, on the Facebook and all. So if we could incorporate some of those in and sort of get it going, I think it would do a lot. And when we did do the spat collection, we had a lot of agriculture kids there, didn't we?
Yeah, when I was there, there were 3 or 4. Yeah.
You envisioning a schoolhouse rock, like when the bill goes up to Capitol Hill, of the life of an oyster?
Right.
Yeah. I have the life cycle of a clam. I saved my phone for you, if you ever need it.
Let's work on making it engaging so folks won't right past.
All right. Let's talk about your thing.
We'll do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Up to you guys. So there were questions before. I can field questions as to what the thought was. I can go through the whole thing again.
I want you to go through the whole thing. I want you to say what it is,
Sure.
what it accomplishes, how we do it, and then I'm going to tell you how we're going to pay for it.
We sold 450 permits this year. What percentage is that of households in Fairfield?
About 0.7%.
It's a little higher. There's 21,000 households in Fairfield.
Households, sorry.
Households. I'm assuming they're not going to buy more than one permit per household. We're 2%.
2%.
So there's a lot of people that don't have permits. These people don't follow us on Facebook. They don't follow us on Instagram. So the question from a marketing standpoint isn't necessarily how do we communicate through our existing channels to people that are already in our world. How do we reach people who aren't in our world in an interesting way? When I say interesting, we can throw ads out. We can do other things. Some of those cost money. We can try and be creative as we go out with our social posts. But to get sort of escape velocity, it needs to be something worth talking about with people that you see the next day, water cooler type stuff. The idea came about that I saw that video which it was called Courtesy of the Gentleman. And are you aware of what this is? So basically, you had Jimmy Fallon at one end of the bar and Brad Pitt at the other, and they're sending each other the stuff back and forth. And the idea would be, how do we get people in a cool way when they're out having fun in a social way and stick ourselves in the middle of that conversation? And it would be, you order a bunch of food, you're at a table here, Black Rock Yacht Club, whatever it might be, and not Yacht Club, BRYAC. Yeah. And out comes some of your appetizers, and it's a dozen oysters. And on there is a card the size of Cosette's phone. And on it, it says, these oysters, courtesy of Fairfield Shellfish Commission. Anybody have a phone? This barcode would be on it. Give it a click, the way you do a menu. So that's live. That'll take you right to our Facebook page. We can have information about, whatever, either about this program or just about permits and all that sort of thing. And so what you've got is a group of people having fun. What do you mean it's for free? Well, what's the Fairfield Shellfish Commission? You have a conversation. We also put something at the bottom that says, hey, if you enjoyed the bivalves, at Fairfield Shellfish Commission, at Shellfish Commission, why don't you give us a shout-out along with the venue, whatever it might be. We start to get some people. So we have 7 people that have some oysters. We have 170 people that are in their social networks that see 2 posts that go out based on that. So now we've got all this stuff going out to people that aren't in our world. They're not following us. They don't even know that we exist for the most part. That's the idea in a nutshell. How do we creatively reach out with something that's endemic to what we do, which the idea was, we're not going to do the crazy stuff on the video. It's oysters. Could be clams, whatever it might be. And so we take a certain amount of, let's call it, dozen oysters. And if each of these things costs $35, you throw in a couple of bucks of tax, you're talking maybe $40 for a dozen at an average place. That's what they're going to charge. The cards to put on the thing, Bucky, something like that through move.com. We have a conversation with the manager of the place. The deal is with them. We give them a certain number of these cards, and we decide what's an amount of money that we're willing to invest. We make $20 per person that lives here in Fairfield that buys a permit. We make $40. So the BRYAC thing could work. We got more people that are coming not from Fairfield, but then again they pay double. So on some level, I'm fine splitting our efforts here to see where do people bite. We don't have to keep it going at the same place. We can reach to different places, and perhaps we'll find success more so in certain ones. We can do it, and then let's see what happens for the week after that. We don't have to keep this going week after week. The idea in general is let's get creative about spending some of the money that we have in our account, and it seems to be growing, and we've had 3 years worth of record permits. How do we put that to work for us so that next year we have 700 permits? The year after that, 1,000, whatever it might be. That's the goal. How do we pay for it? We've got the money already.
All right, so the problem with what we have the money already is the perception of where the money comes from. So the town does give us a budget of $8,000 and change. And then the rest of our money only comes from permit sales. We haven't got any other money. We don't have any commercial shell fishermen, So I've come up with a way to pay for it. Very easy. And we're gonna bring in a bunch of money to do a bunch of things with it. But, so first thing is, forget about the money. We're gonna go to when the people are in the restaurant, will the manager of the restaurant, now I'm not worried about BRYAC, let's say like Grey Goose, right? Is that what it's so-called, Grey Goose?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So say at Grey Goose, there's someone there, like a Ray Dalio, right? Who doesn't want any free oysters, doesn't want anyone to know he's there, isn't going to post anything. Is the manager going to be smart enough to not give the free oysters to Ray Dalio?
I'll gamble we're not getting Ray Dalio in the Goose, and if he...
And why not?
I don't think we don't do a project like this because Ray Dalio might eat at the Goose and they might snap a card on him.
But my wife used to work at Bridgewater, and she'd go to dinner with Greg Jensen over at Artisan.
I'm pretty sure Ray could turn it down gracefully.
Right.
He wouldn't post.
So there's people that don't want to be acknowledged. So, like my parents, they're 90-something years old. They still go out sometimes. They're not going to post a damn thing. They're not going to do anything. They'll eat the oysters. But, so, how are the people that are getting this card? Is it just a random thing? Or is the manager smart enough to pick the right people that are going to be the people who post? Or is it a group of 4? Or, you don't want the guy sitting at the bar who orders a dozen oysters like me. It's like, hey, it's Fairfield Shellfish Commission. Those are free. It's like, great, I'll buy another beer. that kind of thing. So that's one thing. Then the next thing is that it needs to be spread out between more than one or two restaurants. So we have to think what restaurants actually sell shellfish in Fairfield. So Bryac is one of our shell partners or whatever. We know they do. Is there another one you get from?
I mean, we do Nordic fish, they sell
Nordic
oysters, so you can do the same idea.
Nobody has dinner at Nordic
Right.
Fish.
No, I know, but some
Martell.
people go there and buy
So
oysters, so you can,
Martell is one.
or they're buying other shellfish, and you can do the same
So
thing
we
with
got
someone buying.
Bryac, Martell, we'll say Nordic Fish, you know, because people that are going to Nordic Fish may be willing to start posting, you know, and they do sit down and eat lunch. So it might not be oysters. I don't know if anyone sits down and eats oysters, but they do eat a
I think they
poke
probably
bowl.
do.
Yeah.
So then you got like Martell, Bryac, Grey Goose sells oysters.
And Nordic Fish.
All right.
Post Tavern.
They do, I think.
Yeah,
They used
Old
to.
Post
No, they do. They
Tavern,
Wednesday they do their
and you have the
they do their
Nordic Fish.
specials on Wednesdays.
And I don't know any after that. I'm not sure about any other place.
Again, if what we're looking for is the gift which surprises and delights somebody, and then the after effect, which is the happy picture at the dinner out saying thanks Shellfish Commission. Look, I eat at Nordic Fish, but I don't think anybody's going to snap a selfie in there and say thanks Shellfish
So
Commission.
here's the thing.
So I would suggest, even though they're a partner, it doesn't achieve the goal of the digital growth as an accelerant out into the world of
So here's
other people.
my worry, is that we don't offer it to all the people who sell oysters, and the one guy finds out about it that sells oysters, that's not having it happen as a restaurant, makes the call to Brenda Kupchik, and then I have to go meet with her as to why we're doing this program and it's not all-inclusive to everybody. And why is she getting a call with a complaint?
Because we're acting as capitalists. We want to take money as seed money, and we want to sell more permits. We want to get 1,200 permit holders.
So
and we have to
I
use
still
the
think
money
it needs to be
intelligently.
anyone who sells the oysters in Fairfield. So we've gone through this discussion before with clamming rigs. We had access to hundreds of clamming rigs, so we bought a whole bunch for our clinic. And then we thought, man, we could raise some money if we sold these things. But we don't sell them because then we're taking away from Orbit Marine or Posters Hardware that sells the rakes. You know, and so we're the town. We're not a private business. We can't do whatever we want.
I wonder if somebody looks at our Facebook page and says, wait a second, I looked in, wait, aren't you guys in the town budget?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and
but
you're taking, I mean, I love oysters, don't get me wrong, but they're extravagant. They're not cheap. I mean, you sit down and have $40 appetizer, that's rich. And people say, you're taking money, taxpayer money, that comes to you out of your budget, and you're spending this on $40 appetizers. You know, it doesn't, the optics don't look good. I mean, you could say we're trying to promote permit sales, but a lot of people don't see that connectivity.
Can I throw something out there in regards to the whole idea of it, and the idea that we're using oysters and it's a shellfish commission and go get a permit? Are we kind of like hinting at the fact like you get a shellfishing commission, you can go get a permit, and you're going to be able to go out there and get oysters?
Correct. That's what we're targeting.
But there aren't that many oysters out there, and they're hard to get. So then are people going to feel like I was duped into getting a permit, and now there are no oysters out there for me to get?
Well,
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like,
a lot of people, when they mention the Shellfish Commission, they call it the Clam Commission.
right.
Because it's clams. But
But
as
we're
for the
focusing
money,
this on
I've
oysters.
come up with a way to raise the money, which will be promoted on top of it, which is a great promotion. But we definitely have to spread it out to more than 2 or 3 restaurants.
So we talked to 2 or 3, and they don't call us back, or they decide they don't want to do it. We have to keep track of every restaurant in town that serves oysters?
It's only like 5. That's
That's because we went around the table. What if there's 3 places on Black Rock?
Who goes to eat over there?
It's part of the town.
I know. But there's no seafood restaurants over there, is there? Think about it.
I don't know about the little pub.
Little pub night.
What's that place that used to
I don't remember. I don't
used
think
to have
the
the fishing
pub
ropes out in
oysters.
front near the big circle on it, exit 24. What's that now?
Oh, yeah, so like
No,
Latin or
it's
Mexican
different.
place.
That we used to
Yeah.
collect shell from them.
Yeah,
a lot of
they're
shell.
no longer
So
selling
it's no
oysters.
longer, so it's only, you know,
Can we not accomplish the same thing by starting with some people and putting the word out,
We
and putting on
can't.
the site that says if you'd like to be part of this, let us know, reach out.
so here's the thing, is that it falls on me. And so if we don't do it, I'll be against it. Because I'm not getting that phone call. That's it. I'm just not getting it,
Okay.
you know? So we have to spread it out. We have to offer it at least to everyone that sells the oyster. We're the town, we're not a private company. We can't do whatever we want. I understand we have money. That money was raised by Shellfish
That's fine.
funds.
I will write something up that we drop off, and if the manager doesn't call us back, I'm not chasing them. So they can call and respond, but I'm not, it's not a sales
If
job.
they
I'm not
act
making a
and say they
commission.
don't want to
meet someone's
participate, that
face
you've done
to
your
face.
due diligence, but I think you
Oh,
still
no,
have
no,
to.
I don't have to follow up until they give me an answer. I drop it off and say, give this to the manager, what's their name, I'll write their name down. But I'm not following up for 3 weeks if they decide not to connect. Why would I?
Because it's just being persistent, because have you dealt with restaurants?
Why not
Just from my
meet-
experience in
all right,
dealing with
let's not argue about
restaurants.
this, but why not just meet with the manager face to face?
Because sometimes they're not there.
Well, I mean, find out when they're there and then we meet them.
That's fine, well, let's go.
You're really gonna go that way, just because
Honestly, this has now gone from a cool marketing thing to like a labor of getting a guy at a place where it's not gonna work as well as the other places to call me back and give me an answer?
because there's this air of what's going on here.
Yeah,
That's
we're
why.
trying something to see if it works, and if it works, we can expand it out. If we decide we don't wanna do this anymore, then we've
but-
expended all this
okay.
effort, it hasn't worked, and we shut it
So
down.
last week you told me you had a contract for 10 dinners at Grey Goose.
I told you I found the Grey Goose guy on the spot, he said, I'll do it, let me know when you wanna start. That's it.
So where did I get that? 10,
What do you mean a contract? What's a contract mean?
I don't know, that's what I thought I heard. So,
I did math.
That's
I
not
said
the
if we do
case.
10 of these, here's how much it would cost. It was about $400
Yeah,
if you include everything in.
okay, so that's where I got
That
it.
was the
Yeah.
model.
Oh, okay.
He possibly,
I went on
okay.
the phone. I can't,
I was asking for $400 to go give this a
Yeah.
shot. It doesn't have to all go to the Grey
so we
Goose.
have to raise that. So here's the thing. It can't come out of our town budget, and it's not coming out of the Shellfish Fund. It's just, we can't touch that. So we can raise the money. I came up with an idea for some scholarships, right? We can't take that out of our fund
Can I
or
ask
out
you-
of our town budget.
But we're not looking to take money out of the Shellfish permit budget. We're looking to pull it out to invest it to make it bigger. Is there no difference? We're not spending money on
I
going to
understand what
Florida
you're
for the
saying.
weekend.
I understand what you're saying.
It's a
But there's a
specific goal
possibility
in
that
mind.
200 permit holders don't understand what you're saying. That's, you know, that's where I'm coming from on that. So,
That means 200 permit holders.
yeah, 200 permit holders might not understand where you're coming from. You know, like, how come I paid for a permit and buying this guy's oysters at Grey Goose or at Bryac? Like, that's the perception.
No, guys, we're 2% of the town as far as permits go. I think half the town should have a permit. We are taking monies we have from permits and trying to open the gates, spread the word to people who don't have them. If it doesn't work, we shut it down.
So, all right, I'm just going to go to is I don't want to have something fall back on me
That's
being
fine.
the chairman of
So
the
that's,
commission.
so kaput. So we can think of new projects.
So just
to
because
bring
we don't
money.
want to spread it to 5 restaurants, you want to say kaput?
No, we're not even taking, we've got ideas about scholarships. I'm not raising money. It's not,
Okay.
it's
We
not.
will say kaput.
All right, that's fine, we'll say kaput.
All right, so we'll move on from that. Where are we? Downwellers. Shut down, we already talked about the straps. Good to go. Reports from the Conservation Department, our fund balance is $33,316.12 as of November 30th. Like Lizette said, 413 permits. She mentioned the closures. Our budget's our budget, we're not going to discuss that. All right, we got to go to approval of draft meeting minutes. So, did everyone have a chance to look at the November 9th, 2022 draft meeting minutes? changes, corrections?
Looked good to me. No issue. All good.
All right, old business,
You wanna make a
nothing.
Do we
New
have to-
business.
To make a motion to approve.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the draft minutes from November 9th, 2022.
I'll second this.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Meeting minutes of November 9th, 2022 are approved. All right. So we got schedule of meeting date and location for the year 2023. Tim Bishop, you there?
Still here.
I noticed Joanne didn't put anything on about selecting a committee for the, for officers. So normally, I think in December, we select a committee, and then we have a vote in January.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Some of the other commissions are doing that in the December meeting as well.
Okay, so does anyone want to be two-person committee to, if anyone's interested in one of the positions, secretary, vice chair, chair, would let these people know, and they would bring it up at the next meeting. We'd have a vote. Bruce and,
What positions are we looking, let's go through them one by one.
I just said them, secretary,
Oh.
vice chairman, and chairman. And if anyone's interested in being the secretary or the vice chair, they would let you know, and then you would nominate them, or you would bring it up at the next meeting, we'd have a vote.
Okay, and if they don't, if nobody contacts me?
Then it'll be myself, Tim, and Cindy that get voted on, I guess. It's usually that way.
Okay.
I think once we had a change. All right. Informational. You guys all know about the gathering of the Shellfish Commission?
Yep.
Saturday, January 21st, 2023.
We usually send an email to Joanne, just letting her know we're interested in going, and she pays, right? Yeah.
So you would let Joanne know, and the earlier the better, because it's discounted if you,
Send it in early.
Yeah.
Send it in early, yeah. I'll go. I'm going.
who's been so far?
Nothing.
You're not going?
No, I plan on going this year.
Okay.
All right, so it's pretty good. It's, it's from 9 in the morning till 2. They provide a nice lunch. There's a lot of good information. You get to meet all the other commissioners from the different towns, hear about what's going on in other towns. I've been every year. It's good.
And that's particularly interesting when everybody's talking
Yeah.
about their problems, how many permits they have. Groton has 1,000 permits.
Yeah, some other places have 50.
Great. Yeah. All right. Everyone's good with that?
Yep.
So let's go to other. So this was my idea to raise some more money, because we have some things coming up. I know we have $33,000, but our boat is on its final year. We're going to need to buy a new boat next year. That's going to take a big chunk of change. We're not going to buy another 5-year wooden boat. We're going to get a boat that's going to last double that, 10 years at least. Something that's workable, things like that. So that's one thing. That's Sean's thing. We could use money raised. So my idea for raising money, last year we put 250 bushels of shell into Ash Creek, right? So I've seen around town people like donate money for a brick in a sidewalk, right? Buy a brick. You give whatever it is, $50, and you get a brick. You give $100, your name's on the brick. So I thought of this idea of buying a bushel. And we have a goal of, you donate $10, and that goes towards a bushel shell being planted in Ash Creek. And I'm sure we could raise some money. So the goal would be to try to sell all 250 bushels. The shell's going in the water either way, but if we promoted this, we could raise the money. That would provide money that is unquestioned. It's coming out of, we raised this through not selling permits, not taking away from the clamming, nothing like that. It makes everything, you know, in my eyes, I'll use the word like legit. I don't know. But I think we could raise some money that way. And it doesn't take, it's not like a lot of work. We're putting the shell in anyway. So it's just, you know, people, if they want to donate, would donate. We'd probably raise the money if we, you know, posted it. It's another thing we'd get some recognition for in that. But, I mean, a nice flyer, a nice whatever that goes on the internet.
If you if you look at Ash Creek, it's pretty impressive. I mean, when you see those oyster islands and you see where we planted shell, and you can tell a little bit about the history that what it's been for 100 years. I think that, you know, people might, there's a good likelihood they might buy into it for $10. And on the Clam Clinic Day, again, we could say, you know, have some sort of promo, have a bushel of shells, you know, buy this bushel and make it grow into this. And sort of you show.
It's like what they do with the wine. You buy this bottle of wine, it plants 100 oysters or something like that.
In marketing speak, we're talking about a call to action. So our call to action a year ago, when we gave away a case of beer, box of oysters, and a box of clams, was 6 people. Now we're asking for $10. The question is, we're going to get 200?
One way to find out.
Yeah.
I know people put those bricks in.
I think if we had some kind of wall of donor, like either on our Facebook page or on our
It'd be
website,
on the
that
Facebook
says
page.
you get
It'd
your
just
name
be
on
something
there.
digital or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
If you want your name that you donated it, it would
Or
be
maybe
there.
you could even do a gimmick where they write their name on the shell and that gets planted and
The
maybe
people from Ash
Yes.
Creek
Yeah.
Association into.
Well, you could give them if they did it in person, which
I just
the
feel like-
Clam Clinic, you give them a
So,
a golden
I
shell.
think
or
that,
something.
oh my God, a golden shell. Give them a golden shell. No, I think that people want to do stuff, but they don't really want to actually do it, and that's a way to do something good for the environment without having to actually physically do it.
I'm not arguing. I have no problem posting it, promoting it, doing the whole thing. I'm just saying, let's be realistic. We'll see what happens. We're asking for money versus giving stuff away. So that's always a harder ask.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a shot.
Well,
I mean-
I think if you're asking, there has to be a why, a purpose behind it. And so, but if we can show that we've, over a 7-year period, we've been planting shells, and it could almost be a little pictorial. You have that wonderful pile of shell, and then it ends up out there, and then you could have a picture of the spat collectors, which
Mm-hmm.
and sort of show, and then show the bags and I mean, almost a progress story of, you know, what a difference the shell makes.
Yeah. No, we have
And
all.
why you have, well, you know, it's interesting. We talked to these commercial guys. They've got a boatload of shell, literally. But the importance of shell is huge.
No, we have all of that informational stuff, and I think we're going to, next year, make a push to just make more of a presence at a public event. Go to the farmer's market. We have all of that promotional material that we had for the, when they announced the Shellfish restoration plan at Ash Creek. So we have all of that, what you're talking about, that already exists. So it's just a matter of spending a couple of hours at like a farmer's market or a public event with a little booth or tent and just kind of spread what we do, and then we can set up a little thing that says, all right, you want to donate $10, you'll plant a bushel of shell for our restoration project.
You know, and again, Houston, I don't know whether or not any of the students over at aquaculture would be interested in, you know, working on something. It wouldn't necessarily be a video, but it'd be more pictorial or something. I mean, we have the we have the raw material, namely the pictures and stuff like this, and sort of put it into something that's readable or logical or something, tells a story. There's got to be a story because people won't give money. They might just, what the heck. But the more that there's a reason, and I certainly think that the people who come to the clam clinic, everybody whom I talked to said, how much is the chowder? How much is the ice? How much to rent a cram bike? You know, and the answer is nothing. It's all for free. People were astounded that they got all of that and it was so well done. But 250 people were there, and they were, every single one of them was impressed. And, you know, friends of mine who came, the next thing they did is they went out and got permits. And when they came away with a bag of oysters, or clams rather, they said they would be more than happy, because that's probably $25 worth of clams, that say, well, if I give you $10, I'm still $15 a head. I mean, you know, that's the ideal time to do it. Some of it may come through on Facebook. It's harder, but I think that people have a lot of respect for the work that you guys have done over the last 7 years. It's a darn good story.
All right.
Good.
Anything else on other? Or do we want to keep this discussion going?
No, I think we're good.
All right. The public left. Oh, wait, Campbell.
Anything you want me to say?
You'd love to be a junior commissioner, and we should have that position available.
Sure, I think that sounds good.
I talked to Dave Henry about it today. You know?
Yeah.
Where's that golf jacket around?
Yeah, he does.
All right.
Campbell's been helping me with shell recycling,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he comes out and
Why don't you mention that? I mean,
yeah,
the other-
no, Campbell's been helpful, and he usually meets me at Bryac and then does pickups with me, takes the shells to conservation workshops, helps me clean out the buckets, all that kind of stuff. So, which reminds me, can we just also quickly just add, see if we can get some, the possibility to get hot water running there? Get access to, I guess this is more a question for you, Tim Bishop. Just in the winter time, I can't, there's no, if it's below freezing.
If we can just get into the shop and use the slop sink in there.
Okay, or that. Is that a possibility, Tim, if we can get into the shop during the weekend to wash out buckets when it's below freezing and the hose is frozen up?
Week or weekend?
I mean, I do the collection on the weekend because I'm usually working during the week.
Okay. Might be tough. Well, we can work it out. Just with the security alarm and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to run. I mean, there's cold water running out there. If there's connect a hot water spigot to the outside, I don't know if that would be even feasible.
Tom had mentioned it, the discussion. Building confirmed there's sewer. WPCA confirmed that the sewer line was too far. I guess, you know, bleach might have been the concern. But yeah, I guess putting in an existing sink's probably the easiest. Yeah, I'll work that out with you.
Okay. Come like January and February, I think we'll be okay for the next month or so.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, I think we've covered it all. Anything else?
Nope.
Who wants to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Bruce?
I make a move that we adjourn.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.